Yes, good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we have studied about what you mean by the motivation. Okay, the motivation and motivators and the carrot and the stick theory, and then you also studied about the hierarchy of needs theory. Okay, and then you also studied the motivation hygiene approach to the motivation. Okay, and then you also studied that is a comparison of that Maslow's and the Herbert's theory of motivation. Okay, so now we are going to see the next one, that is a chapter that is related to leadership. Okay, so let's begin with the first one, that is defining the leadership. As you know that a leadership is having a different meaning to various authors. So they are going to say that leadership is refined as an influence, that is nothing but the art or the process of influencing a people. Is it clear? So they are going to say that it is nothing but it is the art or the process of influencing the pupil. Okay, so that the people will uh, strive willingly, that is they come the forward enthusiastically towards the achievement of a group goals. Okay, so this is the different way they are going to define about that particular the leadership. Although some of the people treat the terms, okay, two terms are there. One is a managership, and another one is a leadership. Okay, so both these particular terms, the managership and the leadership, as synonymous. Okay, so two should be distinguished here. So they are going to be say that uh, as a matter of the fact, the leaders of completely unorganized group. Okay, so where the leaders will be, so leaders are going to be presented over there, that is for completely an unorganized group. And the managers, as per concerned with the managership and the managers, okay, so they are considered here only where there is an organized structures, the way which we are going to create roles over there. Is it clear? If you are going to say the banking systems and all, okay, any other the different organizations and all to look after the employees and all, they are going to create on a role called as the managers. It is an organized structure will be there. Is it clear? So this is about that particular the managership. So if you are going to distinguish, okay, so there can be leaders of completely a unorganized group, and the managers, as per concerned that where the organized structures are there, okay, they are going to create a roles. Now people should be encouraged here to develop not only willingness to work but also willingness to work with the zeal and the confidence. Is it clear? So what is the main job of that particular the leadership here? It is that the job of the leadership is to encourage the people. Is it clear? They are going to encourage that a particular people, not only encourage willingness to work, but also willingness to work with the zeal and the confidence. What do you mean by the zeal? A zeal is nothing but it is a feel of a strong eagerness. Is it clear? The people should work with a strong eagerness here. The people should work with a confidence. Is it clear? So they are going to say that zeal is an order, earnestness, okay, intensity in the execution of the work. Uh, Confidence reflects the experience and technical ability. Okay, so here leaders is going to act to help a group to attain the objectives. Why we need a leaders? What is the main objective of leaders? Is that the leaders is going to act to help the group, that is the group of people, okay, so that they have to attain the objectives through the maximum application of its particular capabilities. So the leader should not stand behind the group just to push and parade, okay, you do this job, you do this job, okay, complete this. Okay, so he is not going to become a leader, he is going to become a boss. Boss is a different, leader is a different here. Is it clear? Boss is going to give the orders over there, but leader is the one who is going to put themselves before the group, okay, and the leaders, they are going to facilitate the progress and inspire the group to accomplish the organizational goals. You just see an example here, that is an orchestra leader will be there. Okay, so you just see that orchestra leader, What is his job here? Whose function is to produce, that is a coordinated sound and a correct tempo through the integrated effort of the musicians. Different musicians are going to be presented over there, singer and the musicians. Okay, what he has to do? Okay, so his function is to produce a coordinated sound. Okay, very well coordinated sound and a correct the tempo through all these integrated effort of this particular the musicians. So this is one of the example of that a particular the leader. So that's why they are going to say that leader is not that he just stand behind the group and to push and code. Okay, leader is a one. Okay, they place themselves before the group as they facilitate the progress and inspire the group to accomplish organizational goals. Okay, so this is all about the defining the leadership. Okay, so the next one here going for what are the ingredients of the leadership, or you can say that what are the qualities of a leader required in a modern world. Okay, the leaders envision the future, they inspire the organization members and chart the courses of the organization. So the ingredients of a leaderships are, okay, so the four ingredients here they have given, that is the ability to use the power, okay, ability to comprehend or understand the people, ability to inspire the people, and ability to act. So these are the four ingredients of a leadership. So the first one ingredient of a leadership is a power. Okay, the power. The power is a much broader concept than the authority. Okay, so it is the ability of the individuals of the groups to induce or influence the beliefs or actions of the other persons or the groups. There are many different bases of the powers are there: legitimate power, expert power, referent, reward, okay, coercive. A legitimate power, okay, it normally arises from the position and derives from our cultural systems of rights, obligations, okay, and duties, whereby a position is accepted by the people as being a legitimate. Is it clear? So this is the one of the position, okay, which derives from our cultural systems. Is it clear? Where this position is going to be accepted by the people as a legitimate, or a legitimate is an authorized position here. Okay, you are going to say that there is a one the mukanda in a village. Is it clear? That is in a panchayat will be there. So where the people is going to be accepted as him as a legitimate the leader. Okay, so he is going to use his power over there, that is called as a legitimate power, that is the position is accepted by the people, okay, as being legitimate. So there are lot of these examples are there. Okay, if you are going to consider the police people and all, okay, people are accepted that the position they are going to give the respect over there. Okay, and even in some of the positions which is accepted by the people, you take some of the say for example the highest positions like a DC and all. Is it clear? So wherever this is the position is accepted by the people as being a legitimate. There are n number different types of the positions are there. Okay, concerned to the politicians also we are having a different types of the positions are there. Okay, normally here he is going to be say that these are arises from the position and derives from our cultural system of rights. Is it clear? As per the cultural system of the rights, okay, obligations and the duties, where the position here this the highest the position is going to be accepted by the people as being a legitimate. Okay, so in the villages and all you are going to get some of that particular highest positions accepted by the people. Okay, so they are following from their ancestors. Okay, through the culturals the system, okay, they are going to be following. One of the best example is that what you are going to be call it as a there is a nayak, they are going to call it as a there are different words are there. Okay, the next one we are going to see about the expert. So this is the power of the knowledge. Okay, so the power of the knowledge is nothing but you can say that, okay, the one who is going to become a leader based on his knowledge, you can say that a physician will be there, professors are there. Okay, uh, the the different the people who is having a power of that knowledge, musician is there. Okay, he is going to become a leader that based on the power of the knowledge. Okay, third one is a referent. The people or the group may exercise because people believe in them and people believe their ideas. Okay, so this is also one that is related to the in leadership is the power. Next one is reward will be there. That is the ability of the some people to grant a reward. Say for example, university professors and all. Okay, they are going to grant a grades and all to the students. Okay, so the last one, it is the power to punish. Okay, firing a subordinate or withholding a merit increases. So these are all the different that is the types of that the leadership which is based on a power. Okay, so next one here it is that the second one ingredient, that is ability to understand the people. This is the another one type of the leadership here. It is that it is a fundamental way that is a leader first he should understand his people and his group. Is it clear? Without understanding the people, without knowing the needs and all, he cannot become the leader. The third ingredient of leadership is the rare ability to inspire the followers to apply the full capabilities to a project. Is it clear? So here it is that they may have qualities of a charm and appeal that give rise to the loyalty, devotion, and strong desire on the part of these particular followers to promote what the leaders want. Okay, so that's why here the leader it is inspire his particular the followers. The next one, the best example of this inspirational leadership come from the hopeless and the frightening situations. Okay, so here you are going to see lot of examples are there. Okay, in some of the pictures and all, suddenly a leader is going to be emerged. Okay, and all of the people are following him, accepting his particular orders. Okay, so leadership come from the hopeless and frightening situations and prepared nation on a eve of a battle. Okay, so you have already seen about that. That is the person of the Hitler, Napoleon Bonaparte and all. Is it clear? So that is a prepared nation on the eve of the battle, a prison camp with the exceptional moral. So some of the situations are there where automatically a person who is going to uh, fight for his particular people to give the rights for his particular people, suddenly that particular the leader is going to be a measure who is inspirational for his particular followers to follow him. Is it clear? So here your example of that national leaders are there, Gandhiji is there. Is it clear? Who is an inspirational for the followers for freedom fighting. Is it clear? So this is in this way the different types of the situations where the leaders are going to be emerge and come forwards and they are going to be inspire their particular for the followers to follow. The fourth one ingredient of leadership has to do with the style of the leader and the climate here he or she develops. Is it clear? So what the climate he or she develops here, the strength of the motivation greatly depends on the acceptances, perceived rewards, the amount of effort believed to be required, the task to be done, other factors which are all part of an environmental. Okay, so this is all related to an organizational the climate. Okay, so this is the fourth one, that is leadership has to do with the style of the leader and the climate he or she is going to be developed. Okay, that is the strength of the motivation gradually depends on what are all the things here. The strength of the motivation depends on the acceptances, perceived reward, the amount of effort believed to be required, the task to be done. Okay, and all these things factors which are all a part of this particular environment. Okay, so the fundamental principle of a leadership is this: since people tend to follow those who in their view offer them a means of satisfying their own personal goals, the more managers understand what motivates their subordinates and how these motivation operate. Okay, more they reflect this understanding in carrying out the managerial actions, the more effective they are likely to have a leaders. Is it clear? So if you are going to become a leader, the people tend to follow you. Okay, so who the people are going to follow you? Okay, the people tend to follow those who are in their view. Is it clear? So who are fighting for their particular rights. Lot of films and all you are going to see about that. Okay, so that is in the factories and all and in the poor the colonies. Okay, so there is the leader one will be there who is fighting for those particular the poor people, that is to give the rations, give the water, give the basic needs for that particular the poor people who are presented over there. Is it clear? So the people are going to believe him as his own leader, okay, because who is going to following in their views, they are often a means of satisfying their own personal goals. So the next one here we are going to see about what is the trait approaches to the leadership. Okay, the trait approaches to the leadership. Many studies of traits. That is, the traits is nothing but that it is a distinguishing feature. A distinguishing feature is nothing but a traits. So many studies of this, the traits or a distinguishing feature have been made. Okay, so according to the Ralph M. Stockdale found that various researchers have identified the specific traits related to the leadership abilities. Okay, so here they have been identified the some of the things here. So first one we are going to say that they have identified 5 physical traits are there. Okay, so 5 distinguished features of the leadership that is based on the physical traits. So that is related to his energy, appearance, and height. Okay, so 4 intelligence and ability traits are there. So 16 personality traits are there, such as adaptability, aggressiveness, enthusiasm, and self-confidence. 6 tasks are related to characteristics such as achievement, drive, persistence, initiative. 9 social characteristics are there, such as cooperativeness, interpersonal skills, administrative ability. Is it clear? So that's why here the identified these are all the specific traits which is related to the leadership ability, related to the physical trait, intelligence and ability, personal traits here, task related characteristics, and social characteristics. Okay, in generally the study of the leader traits has not been a very fruitful approach to explaining a leadership. Not all the leaders possesses all these particular traits what you have been identified here. Okay, many non-leaders may possess most or all of them. Is it clear? So the next one here we are going for the leadership behavior and style. Okay, so there are several theories are there on the leader behavior of this particular leadership and the styles. So four different the theory has given the section which is going to focus on this. The first one here it is the leadership is based on the use of authority. Second one is that Likers 4 systems of managing. Third one is the managerial grid. Fourth one is here it is that leadership involving a variety of styles ranging from the maximum to the minimum use of his particular power and influence. Now we are going to see the first one here, that is a leadership that is based on the use of the authority. Okay, so the leadership based on the use of the authority, that is nothing but or the styles which leadership styles which use based on authority. Okay, so leaders were seen as applying 3 basic styles. So leaders were seen as applying 3 basic styles. One is an autocratic leader, democratic or a participative leader, or a free reign leader. So now who is an autocratic leader? Okay, so autocratic leader commands and accepts compliances. Okay, he is the the dogmatic and positive and leads by the ability to withhold or give reward and punishments. Is it clear? So this type of the leader you are going to be called it as autocratic leader. So autocratic leader always give the commands and then he is going to expect the compliances. Okay, and he is having an ability to give the rewards, withhold the rewards, and even he is having an ability to give the punishment here. Is it clear? So that's why here you are having that autocratic leader. Okay, so he is going to give the commands, accept the compliances, lead having a ability to withhold or give the rewards and the punishments. Some of the autocratic leaders are seen as even the benevolent autocrats also. Although they listen considerably to the followers' opinion, before making the decision, okay, but the final decision is their own only, okay. But they are having a willingness to hear what the subordinates are going to be say, what are the subordinate ideas, they are going to hear it, but the final decision is their own decision. So such a leader we are going to be call it as a autocratic leader. Is it clear? The democratic or a participative leader. Who is a democratic leader here? The leader consults with all its subordinates. Okay, he is going to be concerned with all his subordinates on any particular proposed actions or decisions and encourages participation from them. This type of the leaders ranging from the person who does not take a decision without a subordinate concurrence. Is it clear? This type of the leader will never take his own decision without concerning with the subordinates. Okay, but consults with the subordinates before doing any particular decision. Okay. Now the next one here it is that the free rein leader. Okay, so in this the free rein leader he is going to use his or her power very little. Okay, so he is giving the subordinates a high degree of independence in their operations. So here in this type of that what they are going to do, subordinates will be given a very high degree of independence in their operations whatever they are going to be do. Is it clear? So such leaders depend largely on the subordinate. Okay, that subordinates are going to set their own goals and achieving them. Is it clear? So this type of the leaders we are going to be called as the free rein leaders. So what they are going to do, they are going to use the power very little. Okay, so giving subordinate, they are giving subordinates a very high degree of independence in their operations. Okay, leaders depend largely on subordinates, that subordinates are going to set their own goal. Okay, and they are going to be work to achieve them on their own. Okay, so this type of the leader we call it as a free will leader. So example here they are given some of the managers who is going to be dealing with a group of research scientists. Okay, there is a one manager who is going to deal with a group of research scientists, may give them a free rein in developing their inquiries and experiments. Okay, he is going to give a full independence in their operations and to achieve their own particular goals. Is it clear? So scientists will be given a full freedom to do the research, do the experiments, okay, and achieve their own particular goal. So this type of the leaders we call it as a free rein leader. Okay, so the next one is the Likhart's four system of management. Okay, so according to this is the second one. This is the Likhart's four system of management. So Professor Renis Leichhardt and his associates at the University of the Michigan have studied the patterns and different styles of the leaders and the managers over the 3 decades. Okay, so in the course of this research, the Likert has developed certain ideas and approaches important to understanding the behavior of the leadership. All the members of the group, including the manager or the leader, okay, adopt a supportive attitude in which they share in one another common needs, values, aspirations, goals, and expectations. Okay, so Linkard views this approach as the most effective way to lead a group. So this is the one of the best idea here it is that the approach that all the members of this particular group, including all the managers and even everyone here, okay, so supportive attitude here. So everyone, one should support the another, one should be able to listen the needs of their subordinates and all. Okay, what are their values, what are the aspirations, goals, and the expectations. So there should be the proper communication between everyone, and everyone should have a supportive attitude. Okay, so this view, okay, this approach is the most effective way to lead one particular group. As guidelines for the research and for the clarification of his concepts, so the Lakert has suggested four systems of the management. Okay, according to his research, he has been given the 4 system of the management depending upon uh, the attitude communication between his subordinates and the pupils in the group. Okay, now first one is the system 1. In the system 1, system management is described as the exploitive authority. Okay, so here its managers are highly autocratic. Okay, already you know about that, what you mean by an autocratic leader. Always autocratic leaders are just going to give the commands and expect the compliances. Okay, so they are the people who are, they are having a ability to withhold or give the rewards and the punishments. Everything, every decision will be taken by them only. So that is autocratic leaders. So in this system 1 management, here they are going to say that the managers who are working in this, okay, so they are all highly autocratic. Okay, they are not having a trust in a subordinates, just a very little trust in a subordinates. Okay, and motivate the people through fear and punishment here. Okay, they are not they motivating the people based on the rewards and all. They are motivating the people with the fear. Okay, so they are going to motivate the people to do the work by giving the punishments. Only in just a few occasions they want, they are going to give the rewards. Okay, and engage in downward communication and limited discussion to the top. Okay, the here the communication is from downward communication, from topmost to bottom. Okay, and limited discussion, the below co-workers and the hierarchy, they are not having any authority to talk with the topmost people. Only they have to just obey the command and just they have to do the job. That's why they are going to call it as these type of the managers are highly autocratic. The next one here, it is the another one, that is a system 2. In the system 2, the type of the management is called benevolent authoritative. The type of the management we are going to call it as a benevolent authoritative. What do you mean by an benevolent authoritative? Okay, the type of the management, so this is the management where they are showing the kindness. Okay, so they are generous in providing the aid or assistance to the others. Okay, so this is, they are going to show the kindness here, then generous here in providing the aid or assistance to the others. Now, this type of the management we call it as a benevolent authoritative. The managers have the patronizing confidence and trust in the subordinates. Okay, so they are having a trust and confidence in the subordinates. So these managers are going to show the kindness to the subordinates. Okay, so they are going to providing assisting, they are going to providing aid to these particular subordinates, motivating the subordinates with the rewards, and even sometimes they can use the motivate them with the help of the fear and punishment also. Okay, and even they are permitting some upward communication also, that is they allow that the people from the lower hierarchy should communicate with the higher hierarchy people, solicit some ideas and opinions from the subordinates, and allow some delegation of decision making but with a close policy control. So this is related to system 2 management. The leaders, system 3 is, system 3 management is referred to as a consultative. The name itself indicates it is a consultative. Okay, managers in the system have substantial but not complete confidence and trust in the subordinates. Usually they try to make use of subordinate ideas, opinions. Okay, they are going to communicate with the subordinates, they are going to grasp the ideas of the subordinates, what are the opinions of the subordinates, use the rewards for the motivation. Okay, occasionally, just occasionally, they are going to give the punishment to the subordinate. Some of the participation engage in communication, here the flow both down and up will be there. So here the communication from high order to the lower order, even lower order people can also communicate with their top high order people. They can give the ideas and opinions to the higher authority, so that a permission is allowed here. They are going to make a broad policy and a general decisions at the top, while allowing specific decisions to be made at the lower levels, and act consultatively in the other ways. The last one is the system 4. Okay, the system 4 management as the most the participative of all and refer to it as a participative group. So in this type of the management, where the managers who are present in this the system have substantial but not a complete confidence. Okay, they are substantial but not complete confidence and trust in the subordinates in all matter. They always get ideas and opinions from the subordinates. Okay, and constructively they are going to use these particular ideas on the opinion. They also give economic rewards here. Is it clear? So these managers are going to give the economic rewards on the basis of the group of performance and the participation and involvement. They engage in much communication, that is the down and up with the peers. Here also the same thing is that, so the people who are present in this organization from higher authority, lower authority, so up and down they are going to be communicating with each other. So there is no restrictions at all. Lower hierarchy people can also communicate with the higher hierarchy. That's why they're going to say that communication down and up with the peers. Encourage decision making throughout the organization and operate among themselves, okay, and with their subordinates as a group. So there is a one example they have been given, that is a profile of organizational characteristics of a new plant manager at a General Motors private Motors plant, okay, where they are going to following the system 4, the management approach, that is they are having the communication that is from down and up with the peers. They are going to get ideas and opinions from the subordinates and all. Okay, so this is all about this the one, that is Likerd's 4 system of management: system 1, system 2, system 3, and system 4. Okay, so we are going to stop it here. In the next class we are going for the managerial grid and the another one, that is the leadership as a continuum. Okay, so we are going to stop it here. Thank you very much.